Hello everybody, it's Emily from Emily Loves London, and today I'm doing a very special review today. I was very kindly sent the first complete collection of Valerian by Cine Book, and this is by Christian, if I get the name right, Pierre Christine and Jean-Claude Mézereuse, and I absolutely loved it. The genre for this comic and this collection includes 3 issues, and the second issue is in 2 parts, and the genre is comic, sci-fi, fantasy and adventure. In the first part of this fabulous collection, which is in connection with the coming out of the film, which is actually coming out today, so if you are in the cinema and you are wondering what to watch, you should go and watch Valerian. Definitely. It's going to be absolutely awesome. It's directed by Luke Benson, and in the first part of this collection you have a fantastic interview with Pierre Christine and Jean-Claude Mézereuse and Luke Benson, which I loved. I love that the collaboration between the creators and the director is such a great relationship. And the most intriguing point of that interview was that Laureline was one of the first strong female characters in French comics, as most female characters in comics at the time were sort of, Pierre puts them as like bimbos a bit, which is amazing, and it's really great that they kind of put a fantastic strong female character in there. There's more of this interview coming in the second collection, so I really liked that you didn't get everything. You got like wanting more at the end, which was really cool. The next part of this fabulous collection was a history of the comic, and this was done by Stan Barretts, which was a very interesting history, so intriguing, and he writes it in a way that it's like a story, which was so lovely to read. So it's not like you're reading, this is the history, this happened, then this happened, then this happened, which is sometimes a bit boring when you're reading a history of something you absolutely love, like a film or a big book series. He states something that's very interesting, which is the similarities of Valerian and Star Wars, which is really cool, and he does like a comparison with the illustrations and the Star Wars movies, which is kind of, I'm feeling like this was a bit of inspiration for Star Wars, you know. I loved that he states at the end that so many people have actually called their children Valerian and Laureline, and that to me was just absolutely, I loved that. That was fantastic, just to see how much it kind of influenced people all around the world, and it has been translated into many languages. The premise behind these comics, which I'm going to start talking about the first issue just after I explain it. So the idea is that there is Valerian and Laureline, and they are both agents for this organisation who works to keep peace all around the world and space, basically. So the first issue is Bad Dreams. This is the first series in the French version. However, the British version, it was decided that the City of Shifting Waters was the best to introduce the series in Britain. But in this collection you do have Bad Dreams, and it's the only place you're going to find the Bad Dreams issue. So if you're looking for that, definitely get this. Because the single issues only start with the City of Shifting Waters. So this first issue, Bad Dreams, I absolutely loved it. It was witty, it was hilarious, with an amazingly imaginative world. The artwork was beautiful, so detailed and defined, and I really enjoyed it. Also because like every box looked like a cinematic scene, which was like stunning. The palette of the colours throughout drew me even more into the comic. I love how the dialogue is about the weirdest things ever. But the conversation sounds absolutely normal, just so like everyday. The superintendent, I have to say, has the best lines in this first issue. He's just so irritated all the time, like he's the boss of the two agents, and it just makes him so hilarious. He's just like constantly angry and annoyed. In terms of the plot for the first issue, I loved that it sort of took the mick out of the Middle Ages with like a really serious mission. I enjoyed that a lot. The mission was fantastic. It was a combination of wizardry and taking over the galaxy, sort of thing. And really, what more do you want? The superintendent, in terms of like characters, was a typical angry boss, but so funny, and you just loved him by the end. Valerian, he was quite, which is this guy, was quite cocky, but also kind, so I was a bit on the fence about him. Laureline, you don't see her till later in the comic. I loved her. She was stunning, strong, independent, and feisty. Jared, who is the superintendent's like assistant, he was so sweet and nice, and you felt a bit sorry for him being pushed around a lot. Exomble is, I think that's how you're supposed to say it, he's the villain in this comic, and he was such a typical, like, greedy villain, but also quite funny, mainly because he really didn't know what he was doing, or it felt like to me he didn't know what he was doing. He was a bit of like a farce kind of villain. So yeah, I really enjoyed the first issue, which was Bad Dreams. The second issue is The City of Shifting Waters, and this is done in actually two parts. So I'm going to talk about the first part first, and then the second part. So the first part, the colours throughout this comic, like this issue, are so beautiful. It looks like a sunset, like, you know, that beautiful kind of colour of a sunset, like throughout the whole first part of the story. The dialogue in this issue was more serious, which works well with the plot, as Exomble, the villain from the last issue, is back and causing havoc. The plot for me in this issue, it's like, because it's only half finished, because it's in two parts, but it was thrilling and exciting, and all about how Exomble is taking over this post-apocalyptic New York in 1986. In terms of characters, Sunray was so weird and hilarious. He was like one of the bosses of like the scavengers around New York, and I really liked his character. It was very funny. Valerian in this was less cocky in the first part, which I liked, plus his dialogue was actually a lot funnier. Laureline, although she doesn't have like a huge part in this first part of this issue, she was badass, and she did kind of, I like that she's the conscience of Valerian. I like that between the two. It makes a great relationship between them. So yeah, I really enjoyed the first part. The second part does have a name, and it's called Earth in the Flames. So this is the second part to The City of Shifting Waters. And like, what a fabulous ending to this story the second part was. It was thrilling. It revealed some interesting information about the world and how the later issues are going to develop the story, the main story of Valerian and Laureline, and how they work within these different planets. I especially loved the artwork in part of the issue they were in Yellowstone in America, and it was just so beautiful to look at, and the Rocky Mountains were just stunningly drawn, absolutely stunningly drawn. I also really liked the space artwork. It just was, it sounds really silly, but it was just so spacey and pretty. I'm running out of intelligent adjectives today. I'm not very good. Lol. I felt there was more dialogue in this part of the issue, and it was witty, and it did feel a bit like too much sometimes. I was just like, ignore it completely, just ignore it. In terms of the plot, it was really fast paced, which was great because it made the build up to the end battle like so exciting. You were just like, oh, yes, end battle, awesome. Then in terms of the actual ending, it was really satisfying, but I did feel like, example, the villain could have, like, he went away, and I feel like he could have gone out with a bigger bang, because I felt like that was a bit disappointing. In terms of characters, Valerian I enjoyed more in this issue, as he developed a lot more as a character. Oh, sorry, this book is actually quite heavy to hold up, so and the lighting's not very good in this today. I don't know what's wrong with the lighting. It's not going the way I want it. In terms of Laureline, she was funny in this issue, especially when she had her... Oh, I can't say this because this is a spoiler. I've just realised that. Well, she has like a little problem. That's kind of a hint. Oh, damn. But it was really funny, and her dialogue in between that was great. I still wanted more development from her as a character. I felt like she was still kind of trudging along as a sideshow. So hopefully in the next issues she will develop a bit more. Schroeder, who was a scientist and a very important part of this second part issue, was just a great addition. He's quite funny and interesting, and he spouts all this like great scientific knowledge out, and it's really good. Example was not as powerful as I was expecting to him. Like, when I saw that he was coming back in this issue, I thought, oh, he'd be like really like Mr. Powerful and out to conquer the world kind of thing, but he wasn't. He was quite defeated, which was interesting to see from a villain, because it was kind of like his demise, but you don't usually see that. You see villains as very like strong and powerful all the time. So I really enjoyed that part. There was a character in there who was, I'm going to call him the ranch guy, because I really looked for the name and I couldn't find it, so I don't think he has a name. But I loved him. He was so cool and calm and always said like the right thing. I actually would like if he comes back at all in like later issues. I hope so, because that would be really, really cool. But yeah, overall, this second part of the issue, and as an issue as a whole, it just kept you on your toes. It was a great adventure with absolutely stunning landscapes, like artwork landscapes, just beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So yeah, the third and final issue that is in this collection is the Empire of 1,000 Planets, and this is my favourite issue yet, I think, definitely, because it just has so much relatability to the issues that are going on in our Earth at the moment, and I loved that there was full page artwork in this issue, especially as it like made the battle scenes so dramatic and so stunning. It was fantastic. There's something called I'm going to pronounce this wrong, but we'll give it a try. A Marsiam, and it was like this awesome sea creature, which kind of reminded me of a Chinese New Year dragon, and I think that's why I really, really liked it. And it was just, it was one of the kind of pieces of artwork that just kind of was so beautiful and like really drew me in. So the enlightened were the villains in this issue, and they were creepy, and you know, I don't get scared of anything very easily, but they were a bit scary. Which made them just fantastic villains, because you know when you have villains, sometimes they're just not scary enough. These were scary. There was less dialogue in this issue, which worked definitely to its advantage, because there was a lot more action to this issue. The dialogue at the end between, this is not really spoilery, no, not really, between the Enlightened and Valerian was kind of sad, but also has this really important humanitarian message, which I really liked. I liked that it was so sort of powerful at the end. The plot was fantastic. It gripped you to your seat the whole time, and it, like, I did not want to put it down when I was reading this last issue. I was just like, no, I can't put this down at all. No, I'm just gonna do it in one sitting, even though I have 50 other things to do. The epicness of the conflict between the Enlightened and the, I'm going to say Satara, I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, but anyway, residents was very much in connection to a lot of like our history on this earth, which made the story so much more intriguing towards the end. So yeah, in terms of characters, Valerian was much more sort of like action man, which I really liked. Laureline, she had a lot more involvement and development, which made me just love her character even more, and was exactly what I wanted her to go to. So that was really great when you get a when you read the next issue and the character goes the way you want it to go. It's just like, yes, satisfying. Elmir, who was a character from the Satari people who helped Valerian and Laureline in the battle, he was like a really interesting character, and you kind of didn't know what his end goal was in terms of like leadership and where his revolution was going, or it wasn't going anywhere, in terms of like the future of Satara. But that I really liked, and like that kind of not knowing of how powerful he wanted to be. The Enlightened, I think that's how you say it, were intriguing and at first like awful creatures, like creepy, and like when they revealed themselves, because they've got like helmets on, and they're creepy. And then when they revealed the helmets, I was just like, that's gross, but slightly intriguing as well. But also at the end, you kind of like understood them as characters and their place in the issue, and to an extent, you did actually feel sorry for them, which was really interesting. So yeah, I really absolutely enjoyed The Empire of 1,000 Planets, so that was fantastic. So yeah, overall, as a whole, this complete collection is amazing. It's really good. Not only the fact that you get an interview with the creators and the director of the film that is coming out today, you also get sort of the history of the comic, and you get an exclusive issue that is not being printed in England, which is fantastic, and the artwork is beautiful, and I actually really like the hardback, even though it's like really hurting my arm to keep lifting this up. I really like it. It's fantastic. So thank you so much, Cindy, for sending me this. I am giving this a 5 out of 5 stars. Absolutely loved it. I would recommend you to go and get this complete collection and start reading, because you absolutely love it. If you are a space Star Wars fan, action, kind of really old school style comics, you will love this. And I think you should definitely go see the film, which is called Valerian. It is out today, Friday the 21st of July, in cinemas near you, so definitely check it out. And as an ending, for you watching this 20-minute video, it was a bit long, I'm sorry, I am doing a giveaway because I actually had the first 2 British issues, so that's that's A City of Shifting Waters and An Empire of 1,000 Planets. Here they are, these 2. So I am doing a giveaway of these 2 issues. That's the first one, The City of Shifting Waters, and the second issue, The Empire of 1,000 Planets. And I will be doing this giveaway on the comments below. So the first person to comment on YouTube, and it's UK only, unfortunately, because I am not a very wealthy person, so I can't afford the postage out. But yeah, so it's UK only, and it's the first 2 issues, The City of Shifting Waters and The Empire of 1,000 Planets. So get on that commenting, and it's UK only. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you go out and read these comics and see the film, and let me know what you think of the comics and the film down below. But no spoilers at the moment for the film, because I will be going to see it either tonight or tomorrow, and my review will be up by the weekend, so no spoilers. But have a fantastic day. I hope you enjoy the weather. It's lovely outside today. I will see you again soon for another video. Bye! Keep geeking!